go with it.
Because, I mean, there was it come out ISIS, didn't it? Where the guy had written what he wanted to be the next Oasis album.
Right.
But back then. So he wrote all the chords, and
Okay.
then went into a computer and went, make Liam's voice on that, and the band
Interesting.
sound like Oasis. And it sounded amazing, right? It sounded great, but you know it's a robot. So I'm going to ask you a question, right? So if you were, because you know, you're not going to let someone sing for your voice or anything like that, but let's just say Ashaine White, you know, takes the world a storm, which you're going to
manifest.
be. You're going to.
Amen.
You're going to. And all of a sudden, the next pop stars are AI stars. And someone goes, you know, I want you to write an album for an AI bot. Would you do it?
Interesting. No.
No. Okay.
That sounds
Great
boring.
answer. Yeah.
Like, it does not sound like I would rather sing 25 weddings back to back
Yeah.
than write an album
Yeah.
for somebody I don't believe in,
Yeah.
something I don't believe in. Honestly,
Yeah.
like really and truly, honestly. And if I was to write that AI album, they would hate it
Why?
because it just wouldn't be what they want it to be. You know, I don't even like the sound of my voice with like melodyne on it,
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand it.
let alone auto tune, let alone writing a whole like AI album. Like it's just not how I vibrate with music.
No.
And I would love to help them find the person that would really, really enjoy that. And
Oh, so
really,
you're willing
really-
to help?
Well, if there's a person whose dream it is to write music for AI artists, then go ahead. Like,
What,
I
in
love
your
that
industry
for you.
as well?
I don't think the people in my circle would want that,
Okay.
but I choose the people I hang around with for that
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
They align with how I feel about music. But there are people in the world that I know and that I'm friends with that would probably love to do that. I think go where you're happy, go where you're seen, go where you're loved, go where... I never want music to be a job or a chore for me,
Yeah.
because this is where I find my joy. This is me. So if you take away everything that is me, there will be nothing left. So if I go down, if I even take... I honestly do think this is going to sound like a very big statement, but I think if you take one step in the wrong direction, you'll end up in the wilderness.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I work to make sure I take all my steps in the right direction so I end up where I want to be. I want to do this when I'm 85 years old. Like, I want to be world touring, Bob Dylan style. Like, everyone's like, she all right for this next show? And I'm like, yeah, babe, I'm on.
Bless
Like,
Frankie Valli.
yeah, do you want to hear Brace Yourself? Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that's how I want to be. And I can't be doing that,
Yeah,
hating
yeah.
what I'm singing.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Because I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, you wouldn't believe me.
Would you write with other real artists? Yeah.
have
Have you
done.
ever done that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
have done. Yeah. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. It's fun. It's a good exercise. Again, it's like checking my working out. It's like understanding what my voice is for
Yeah.
me and how my voice can help somebody else. I think my thing is that I just want I want to exist so dramatically as myself that it forces other people to do the same. Like, act as their self. I want to just make sure that they're being the most authentic version of them. So I think that's my job in the room as a writer. How would you say this? Like,
Yeah.
we're writing a song about a breakup. Have you actually broken up with someone? No, I've been in a long-term relationship and I'm really in love. Okay, maybe we should write about that then.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we should write about your actual experience rather than some, make-a-wish idea.
It's the thing, like, people take for granted, I think, in writing, like, the way you just talk about things, like the words that naturally fall out, especially being like a man who's full of East End slang words and stuff like that. You know, like I said the other day, well, not the other day, like years ago to my wife, if I could, I'd marry you, darling, but I ain't got the money, so I can't right now.
Well,
and all of
put that in a song.
I did.
Yeah.
And then it's like this thing of like, oh, right, then this is what writers, if you're a good writer, you pick out something and you go, okay, you've just said the truth. Just say that.
Say it.
You know what I mean? And just write that way. Going on writing, and you've got this amazing EP out.
I do.
Cause for Concern.
Thank you.
So what does it mean to you, that album?
I think Cause for Concern it kind of felt like, it's kind of a warning. It was like, I'm a bit dramatic. And it was kind of like, I'm on the edge, I think, of all of this. I just want to be myself. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I think it was kind of my inner child, like as a 27-year-old. And I think COVID was a lot for this. I went into COVID at 22 and I came out 25. And I think that's a big chunk of my early 20s.
It is, isn't it?
To sit inside. So I think there's a lot of like angst that I was actually able to deal with because I wasn't out getting faced every night, which I should have been, and discovering who I was in the London scene, but I couldn't because I was at home. So I feel like it kind of accelerated my ability to reflect on who I am and who I wanted to be. And I feel like a lot of these songs on Cause for Concern is me kind of in Ash, my second EP, was a lot about my experience of love. I was experiencing love for the first time romantically. I've had really long platonic relationships and I wanted to talk about how important those were to me. And I feel like Cause for Concern was about kind of the opposite, the antithesis. It was like me understanding the like melancholy and the angst and the hardship and being like, I'm going to talk about all of this stuff, like all the stuff that just pisses me off, you know, and all the things about the world that I feel like needs to be kind of spoken about through my own lens. So that's kind of Cause for Concern, and it kind of goes on that journey of me being a voyeur of other people's situations and my own situation, and yeah, putting it all into songs.
Okay, so this was all written during COVID?
No, this was written, no, oh goodness, we wrote Cause for Concern, I think we started in 2022.
Okay.
So I released my first EP in 2021, got nominated for my Ivor in 2022, released Ash late 2022 or June 2022, and then we got writing straight away, and we got this EP out in July. So yeah, we're trying to get songs out.
You put in work.
Yeah, man. I'm a songwriter. What else am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
That's literally my job. So yeah, we've actually got another EP ready for the new year.
What's your favourite song of yours?
My favourite song of mine? What, on Cause for Concern?
Anything. What would you, who, for people to listen to a song of yours who never heard you, say, there you go, checkmate, listen to that. You're into Ashaine.
It's so interesting. I think there's different little pockets of Ashaine White land.
Who would you show you?
Who would I show me? What would I show me?
You never heard it. You're going to go back to yourself and you're going to say, look at this.
I think it could be White Flag.
Right. That's my favourite.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It could be White Flag, but it also could be something like All My Wrongs or Lock and Key or Favourite Thing, which are all kind of like, or even like on my first EP, Cookie Cutter. I feel like there were, in each EP, there was like a...
I love that title, Cookie Cutter.
Yeah, I was really proud of it. Like that song kind of was a catalyst to the next and the next. It was like, this song I think is going to change something. I don't know what it is, but it felt like it was going to do something. And what it did was make me understand a bit more of my approach to songwriting. Like I started that song on guitar and it was about the world that we lived in. It was all about people wanting to be famous and be this cookie cutter version of these people, but that nobody's looking at the fact that a lot of these cookie cutter people that they want to be a part of are having the worst time ever. And you know, the suicide rate of artists is crazy, and like the cyberbullying is out of hand, and you just want to go on Love Island. Like, or you want to be the next Kurt Cobain. He had a horrible time.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of things that he didn't deal with before being who he was. And that was a part of who he was. And I wanted to write about that. And I think the next project, there was Favourite Thing. And it was a catalyst. And it was like, this is how I write about love. Like, I figured it out. Because I didn't want to write about love before. I thought it was corny.
Yeah.
This is how I write about love. And that whole EP was like me figuring out how I write about love. And Cause for Concern, White Flag was the first song we wrote for that EP, without even knowing that it was going to be an EP. And it was like, this is how I kind of mesh the grit of alt rock with the soulfulness of Ashaine White and who I am, and how I be tongue in cheek and how I be funny in my songs, and yeah.
I love those elements in songs when you like, especially now, like having those tongue in cheek. I mean, Alex Turner's amazing.
Oh, I love him. His songwriting is what I think, as one of the first people that I heard write songs. And I think when I was younger, I was listening to it being like just being, and also I got into them. I saw them live. That was like one of my first concerts I ever went to.
Yeah.
At the O2, and it was Suck It and See era. So it was like
wicked.
a bit, but I knew all the stuff from before. I listened to Mardy Bum on the way driving somewhere, and I was like, this is lyricism. Like, this guy is really writing.
I'd love to hear you do a version of that, actually.
I would love to hear me do a version of that. I need to hear, yeah, I think it would be so fun. Like, his way with words, but it's also very personal to him.
Yeah.
I couldn't write like Alex Turner.
But he's like, just like spitting stuff here. Like he is the voice of like a nation, isn't he?
Yeah.
That sort of writing, and I think Mike Skinner's one of those as well. Like for me, I love Mike Skinner. He's like lyricist god to me, because it's just so to the T. And I mean, I've got an accent like dirt anyway, but it feels very regional to me.
Yeah.
And so does Alex Turner. And I think when you can touch on something lyrically that speaks to everyone, but especially the minors, it's like you got a recipe for disaster, but not disaster. You got a recipe for something great.
Yeah, for sure.